You are listening to Confessions of a Counselor podcast with Janice, mental health in bite-sized chunks. Hello and welcome to Confessions of a Counselor. I'm your host, Janice, and in today's episode, I thought we would do part 2 of what is the function of anxiety. So in the first part, we kind of delve into what is the function of anxiety, what's happening within our body. And in this part, I thought we would break down kind of what to do when that's happening in our body. So what is the function? And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how do I manage what's happening when that function is going on. Okay, let's jump right in. So when it comes to kind of managing what's happening in our body, our mind kind of goes to, oh no, what's happening, or this is bad. And so we need to kind of figure out what's going on in order to figure out how to manage what's going on. And so when we can start to rethink and start to reframe what's happening, or I can have the rationale of, oh, this isn't actually dangerous. My body just thinks it's dangerous, right? So the example that I always give is that when our bodies were designed, traffic jams weren't a thing. Traffic jams didn't exist when we were living out with the tigers and just living in groups and in the wild, right? Concrete jungles weren't a thing. So traffic jams are super anxiety provoking for a lot of people, and our bodies think this is a really bad thing. And so we get anxious in traffic jams, right? Whereas if we're just in traffic, there's actually not anything bad that's happening in that moment. So we can recognize, oh, I'm feeling anxious because my body thinks that I'm unsafe, but this isn't actually a scenario where I am, in fact, unsafe. So then I can start to use skills and tools and techniques in order to support myself through that anxious thought, recognizing that I'm not actually in danger. Because again, our bodies were designed at a time where fight and flight was very helpful because it was either this is a dangerous situation or it's not. It was very clear which ones were dangerous and which ones were not, versus now we live in a concrete jungle and it's a little bit more ambiguous as to what's actually a dangerous situation and what's not, and our bodies will respond. So the traffic jam anxiety is exactly the same way that our bodies would respond if we were being chased by a tiger. It doesn't know the difference. So again, the function of anxiety is to keep us safe. The function of anxiety is to say, am I in danger? And have we thought of all the scenarios to keep us safe? So when I can look at my anxiety from that perspective, I can then use my front brain, my logical human adult brain, to think, is that actually true? Am I actually in danger right now? And then appropriately decide what skills and tools I need to use. So that's a lot of rambling. I think the function of anxiety is something that's really, really important and is really, really helpful to kind of dive in. And this is something that I talk about in session a lot. It's a conversation that I think is really important. So I hope that you have found this helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know. But until next time, take care. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Confessions of a Counselor podcast is available anywhere you like to listen to your podcasts, both on Apple and Android. New episodes are released every Friday. If you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to join the conversation, leave a review, or subscribe to the podcast hosted on Spotify. You can find all these details on janicelyons.com. Until next time, take care.